Thank you, Ms. Sherman. Members, now we recognized by order of seniority for their 5 minutes of questioning. I now recognize myself for 5 minutes. Mr. Cazzaretti, your testimony was somewhat troubling to me. How many FAMs are there? How many Federal Air Marshal personnel are there?
Chairman, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be releasing that in open testimony, and specifically, I could only guess. I don't work with the agency directly, so I would.
Well, we'll find that out. Okay,
Thanks so much.
Not a problem. Okay, thanks. I'm interested in where is it that you would want the FAMs to be? I mean, you don't want it to be under TSA, but where would you recommend that it should be? Should you be your own agency, separate, or should you be under some other law enforcement branch of federal government?
I think the FAMs want to be under law enforcement. We've had this conversation with amongst ourselves and with different staff. The best fit would be in a law enforcement, not a regulatory agency. Standalone probably would be more problematic than it's worth. And the air marshals just want to make sure that there's an intelligence basis for them going on these flights, that they have a meaningful contribution to security in so much that they can do investigative work and try and find the problems before they get on the aircraft as well. We've toyed around with DOT, looking into the authority of that. There's been a lot of speculation and questions about whether or not we could become HSI agents and whether or not the duties in the air are going to be a collateral duty. Those are promising, but I think there's going to be an issue with the shifting authority from 49C over to 19 USC authorities. So we're still talking about that. We have no answer. We're hoping this committee can figure it out for us.
Yeah, but we're going to be looking to you, the people, to tell us, hey, where do you think you best lie? I guess we're going to look at it ourselves. When you're assigned to a flight, are you assigned to a mission, or are these things random, or how does that work?
So the missions, a lot of the missions are random, but there are QS and those types of flights, or SMCs, that they say.
Could you speak English for me, please?
Yeah.
I don't speak TSAEs, so.
And special mission coverages, they say, are intelligence-based missions. Quiet skies, they say, are intelligence-based missions. Unfortunately, we don't feel that the rule sets that they're using to create these missions are necessarily intelligence. One of the reasons why we worked with Congressman Heiss in the past was because we were trying to flush out exactly what they were doing with intelligence and why they thought these missions were of higher risk that required a federal agent to be placed on it for anti-terrorism measures. It just didn't make sense to us. And what we found out was they borrowed, or they thought that they would borrow a rule set system from Customs, which is called automated targeting system, which puts these rules in place, and they grab people that happen to stumble into it, like a gillnet. And I worked for Customs, and I used to deal with this before. That system was designed to be used in the border area. It was designed to have inspectors actually asking questions of these people that might stumble across a rule set. So in that scenario, it works very well because you have eye-to-eye human law enforcement contact with the individual that may have stumbled across the rule set. Air marshals can't do anything like that. They're assigning an air marshal on the flight based upon these single data points. I don't consider that intelligence, and a lot of the air marshals don't either.
The Quiet Skies program, how does one get on that list?
You'd have to trigger one of the rules. There's rules that they make, and they're triggered, and if you happen to trigger it, you're on the program.
Okay, so I guess we're going to have a classified briefing with TSA to find out how one gets on that list, and how in the world does a former congresswoman get on that list. And so when somebody's in the Quiet Skies program, anytime they fly, they're going to be seen. Somebody's going to be with them. Is that what you're telling me? They're
going to, there's a high risk there's going to have an air marshal on the flight. I don't know if they're going to have the job on that flight, but they'll be put on the flight.
Fair enough. I think that's better in a classified setting as to how one gets there and why certain people are on it. I'm certainly very interested in why certain people are on it, but I'm not going to have it here in this hearing. So my time is up. I now recognize the ranking member from Michigan.
Thank